Hey everyone, this is Syed Faizan Hussain, and today we'll be going over Google Scholar, which is seemingly one of the most underappreciated uh, websites when it comes to researchers because we are so busy using more sophisticated uh, reference management softwares such as Mendeley and Zotero now that we seem to overlook how powerful Google Scholar really is and how we can harness this. And this video would be especially useful for folks that are early career researchers or just starting grad school or even mid-career researchers who may have never used Google Scholar in a way that I'll be demonstrating today. Now, I do not need to give any introduction to the domain Google Scholar since it's a very well-known website. So this is the landing page of Google Scholar. You can see for folks that practice law, they can simply switch over here to select cases. But since our focus is on research, we'll be sticking with articles. So on this landing page, you will see the tab burger button over here on the left. This would give you access to your profile, your Google Scholar profile, your library, and we'll be coming back to this particular tab. This is a very important and powerful tool that's often overlooked. Alerts. You can set custom alerts for certain publications if they are cited or if there's any changes to that publication, if a full text becomes available for that matter. Then some metrics. Metrics on journals, on various papers. We'll go over all these. In addition to that, there is an advanced search option. This is very important if you are looking for something very specific to find a needle in the haystack, so to speak. Then there are certain settings that you could turn on and off based on where you're at, whether what kind of sort of search preferences you have in terms of how many results you want to be displayed for each page, how concise you want to keep depending on the screen size that you have. You don't want too busy search results, and you can reduce this number. If you are fine with looking at multiple articles at once, you can increase this. Then whether you want your results to be open in a new tab or do you want it to be in the same tab. I personally keep it checked. Um, and then on top of that, what kind of bibliography manager you're using. If you are using, say, BibTeX, then you would use these, and all these names are here. You could just simply keep it off. Then languages, based on what language you prefer or you speak or are proficient in, you can keep it here. Keep in mind, primarily, a huge database of paper and articles are available only in English. Then library links, if you have membership access to certain libraries, or you want to specifically search in a particular library, you could link it here. And then your account, and then this button option where you could pretty much add a quick access button in your web browser like I have installed here. Going back to the landing page, say you want to look up a particular paper. I would simply look up my recent study, which was from the University of Illinois. That was the full report for which was published in 2022. Following up on which we also have a full paper. So I will go ahead and look that up. Sensing infrastructure for smart mobility. That was the name of the study. And you can see the paper is the second hit, and the third hit is someone else's study, and then our search result is right over here. All right, so with this in mind, let's see how we can create a library of resources that we can then import into our Word document, which is certainly what other more sophisticated tools are available for, but Google Scholar gives you a very quick way to do the same thing, which I would say is even simpler. But before that, let's look at what are all the options available to you. Now, depending on what kind of account you have linked to your Google profile and whether you have institutional access to certain things, you will see not only the title of the study, but also a link on the right, which would tell you whether a PDF or a landing page that would ultimately then you can use your school account to access the paper would be available or not. So with that in mind, there are also on the left you can see certain filtering options. First one is simply filtering articles based on the time frame that you're interested in. You could even set a custom range of years to search your particular study. You could sort by relevance of your search item, or you could sort by date. Now, one important trick that that I use is if I'm looking for a specific subject, and then within that subject I'm looking for a specific topic, I often put it in inverted commas or quotation marks. So what I would do is simply I would probably go for, say, I'm looking in the subject of transportation geotechnics, pardon my typing here, transportation geotechnics, and then I'm looking for publications that focus on, say, sensing infrastructure. So this would be the specific subfield. So by doing this, what Google Scholar does is it kind of keeps this as a reference, but there's an absolute reference for this one, meaning that whatever hits or whatever search results it will show you, they must contain sensing infrastructure either in title or in the subtitle of that study. So as I hit enter, now you see sensing infrastructure is highlighted. And for other studies where it does not exist in the title, it'll look through the text, or if the abstract is available for public access, it'll show you that as well. And then, so doing this, you could easily target a specific subfield while also keeping your search results within a certain study. Because if you say you want to remove the overlap of two subjects, which might sound eerily similar, for example, sensing infrastructure could be in, say, electrical engineering, but I don't want that. I want to keep it in transportation geotechnics domain, and so that's what this particular uh, targeting does, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So you can see in the specific field of transportation geotechnics, the only study that focuses on sensing infrastructure is the study that we published. That this is indeed our paper from our lab that we published this year. Now moving on, it also shows you, just like any other Google website, related search results. And then there are these four tabs or four hyperlinks available under each article. So I'll just go back just for the sake of simplicity. So what it does is it allows you to first save this particular publication in a list that you might want. So for example, I want to create a list. I'm going to be writing a paper on, say, sensing infrastructure for transportation facilities. Okay, I'm going to be writing a paper on this, or I have a grant writing. I will simply make this as a label. So this is a subfolder in my library, and I can hit done, and this article would be moved to that particular one. Say I want to also move the study that we did in our lab, I'll do the same thing with that. And also, while we are at it, I'll also transfer this one and say emergency smart cities. Let's use this one also. Now what this does is that it sends links to these studies into my library, more specifically in this particular folder that you can access on the left when you go to my library. So you hit my library, and then you come over here, and then you hit the folder name that you have created, or the label name, and this is simply a database now. One of the more impressive things that people don't realize that Google Scholar can actually do is you could also export all of these references at once while you also have access to the papers. So what you can do is you can hit export all, and then based on the choice of your citation management, you could export as a BibTeX, EndNote reference, reference manager, or a simple comma separated variable CSV file that you can then open in Excel, and then use some other citation management software to simply build that database or put it at the end of your document. Now, while you're here, you will notice besides the option of adding something to the library of choice, you could also simply hit this cite button and copy and paste whatever citation style you need, or even export this particular citation for a specific library management or reference management software that you use. So this kind of gives you a really nice, quick way to cite something. Next to this cite button is also a very powerful tool where it tells you what other articles have cited this specific article. And with that, also, you get another option harnessing the power of Google's search engine. You could also look at similar articles that talk about the same topic. And then also you have the option to view different versions. By this, it means that you may have the same paper uploaded at different websites or under different domains. The authors sometimes upload it on, say, ResearchGate or academia.edu, and you will have access to all those versions. And with that, I would conclude this video. Please do let me know how you found this video and what kind of videos you would like in the future from this channel. Leave a like down below if you appreciate this kind of content, and remember to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.